Hello and welcome to this session about Microsoft Copilot in Dynamics 365 Business Central. Copilot is the AI-powered assistant for work that helps boost creativity, it helps improve productivity, and eliminates those tedious tasks so you can really focus on what matters for your business. And now, in 2024 Release Wave 1, Copilot also assists with analytical tasks. My name is Mike Borch-Cardona. I'm a product manager at Microsoft, and today I'm joined by my colleagues Thomas and Kenny.
Hello, my name is Thomas Jensen. I'm a software engineer on the Business Central development team.
And my name is Kenny Pontoppidan. I'm also a product manager in the Business Central product group.
And in this very short video, we're going to show you how Copilot can help with specific analytical tasks for your organization. We're going to share some practical tips so you can get the most out of this and also help you get started so you can get hands-on and try this out. But let's just take a moment to understand, Kenny, generally speaking, how do our customers get to data insights today?
It's a great question, Mike. So we have this BI triangle where we describe typical analytics needs in an organization. And they really change with the way you work, with the role you have. If you are in the leadership, you typically want aggregated data. If you are typically in a middle management position, this is where you have these ad hoc analysis tasks. Like your boss come in and ask, how many teddy bears did we sell in Greece last year compared to something like that? And you don't have a report for that, right? So that's why we built the data analysis tools on lists last year to help with this data ad hoc analysis. We also have normal reports, of course. Now, with data analysis or with ad hoc analysis, it's typical that it starts with data savvy people, like controllers. They like to group data, maybe throw in a bunch of pivots and do that, right? But what we discovered was it's not a task that is easy for everyone to do pivot tables. So that's why we thought, could we make it easier for the normal users to also do ad hoc analysis?
And that's why we're excited to announce the public preview of Analysis Assist. Here, Copilot, with this new capability, helps reduce the time it takes to get to identifying trends, anomalies in your business data, simply using the power of your own words, basically. So, for example, you may be totaling up transactions in preparation for next year's budget. You may be identifying gaps in your inventory so you can plan how to distribute things better. You may be looking for specific sales or purchase transactions as well. So by describing in a simple sentence how you want to structure your data, you quickly get to insights instead of spending the time and effort on the clicks and keystrokes to actually lay out data in front of you on your screen in the analysis tabs. And you can do this without ever leaving Business Central, without the need for context switching across different apps. And ultimately, it makes these advanced analytical tools and capabilities in Business Central a lot easier, which means more people across the organization can make data-driven decisions themselves. So how about we take a look at how this works? Thomas, would you like to give us a demo?
Yes, of course I will. So let's switch to our screen here. And to show you the new functionality, let's take a look at the item list. Of course, it's important to notice that this functionality does not only work on the item list, it actually works on any list that already supports analyzing data. But let's try the item list. So what you'll notice here is there's a new Copilot menu at the top. And in that, we have a Analyze List action. Let's try that. And then a window pops up where Copilot will now ask us to put in some words on what kind of analysis we would actually like. So let's try with something simple first. Let's just add a few columns to our analysis. For instance, we want to show you the item description. Maybe we want some on-hand information about the items, and let's add the unit cost as well. And then we click the generate, and let's see what happens. Then things get sent off to the Copilot. It will do its magic, and eventually it will come up with a new tab that gets inserted with the information we ask for. So we ask for the description, some on-hand information, which ends up being the quantity on hand field, and then the unit cost. And what you can see here, that actually also generated a title for the tab it inserted, sort of based on the summary of what we asked for. And you can also see it has a dotted line. That means that this tab has not been saved yet. It's in draft mode, and you can of course modify this even further. And to do that, we have moved the window at the bottom so you can actually better see what was generated for this analysis, but it also allows us to add some further adjustments to this. So for instance, we could choose to, so let's sort this list by the cost. So let's say we want to sort the unit cost, and let's do it descending. And then it will run again, and it will add the sorting now, so we have the biggest number at the top. Pretty easy. Of course, you can also do this by hand, but if you don't really know where to click, it's much easier just to tell it what you want. So now we have two iterations of this tab that was generated. The first one with the 3 columns, the second one where we also added sorting. And you can see that in the dialog here, this says 2 of 2. And if you change your mind and you don't want the sorting anyway, you can just click the back arrow, go back to the first iteration, if you more want to use that, or you can go ahead and again to the second one. So you can always skip back and forth between the different iterations of the analysis you have created. To make it a little more advanced, let's try to take away some of the items. So for instance, we only want to show the items that have a replacement. So let's say show only items with a replacement. And, oh, that was actually misspelled, the replacement. Anyway, let's try to see whether Copilot can figure that out anyway. It should be able to figure that out. And you can actually see that now it added a filter to take away the ones that don't have a replacement. You can also see in the name, it actually figured out, even though I misspelled replacement, it figured out the right word to put in there. And if you want to take a look at what was actually generated or created for us, we can go to the filter and see that even though we ask for a replacement, we can actually see there's no field or column called replacement, but there's one called substitution. So Copilot figured out that replacement and substitution, that's sort of the same. So let's add a filter to substitution exists and set it to yes. And that's what we're seeing now. So now we added columns, we added sorting, and we added some filtering. And if we're happy with that, we can just click to keep it. If we don't like it, we can discard it. But for now, let's choose to keep it, because this was actually the way we want to analyze our data. But of course, there's more than that. So let's try to create a new one. And if you're not really sure how to start phrasing what you want, there's a prompt guide here where you can actually see different suggestions we have. So you can do grouping and pivoting, and you can showing your fields. You can also do sorting and filtering. And then at the end, there's something where you can freeze your columns, or you can rename the actual tab. Let's try to do one with grouping. So let's say we want to group by the vendor. So we'll just tell it to group by the vendor. And let's see what it gets generated from that. So it actually found the vendor number and then did a grouping on that. It chose to also add the description, so that we can see which items belongs to this vendor, and then of course also the type. And that's actually close to what we wanted. But maybe we weren't that happy with the group by vendor name. So let me change that. So let's tell it to rename the tab. So we can, for instance, call it items per vendor instead. And then it will rename the tab for us. As you can see, we still have the dotted underline, meaning that this tab has not been saved yet. It's still in this draft mode where we can refine it. And this is actually what I want, or at least it's close to. So I can choose to click to keep it. But before doing that, I actually want to get rid of the type, because I actually only want the vendor number and the description. So of course I could tell Copilot to remove the type column. Another option is actually just to find the column out here and then just say we want to remove that. What happens when I do this is that we will sort of commit the draft tab we have, do the change you ask for, and then take the dialog away. So let me try to click over here. You will see that the type column went away, the dialog closed, and the tab is now fully saved because it has the solid line. So this was sort of some of the details you can do with the Copilot.
Thomas, that's great.
Isn't it?
It's actually fantastic. I'm wondering, is this? Are we sending a lot of data to, like the customer data, to Copilot to generate this?
That's a really, really good question. Yes, of course, we don't send any of your data to Copilot because that's not what's needed. The only thing we actually send to Copilot is the description of which columns are available on your list. And based on that information, Copilot generates an analysis. And then after that, data gets filled into that.
Nice.
So there's no risk in leaking your data in any way.
So I really like it, Thomas, but it also feels like your demo is very mechanic. Like you show the features goodbye.
Yes.
So could you show us the money here? Like I want to know what my customers owe me. Can you do that for me? Can Copilot help me answer that question?
Yeah, let's try that. So for instance, maybe we could use the customer ledger entries for that. Let's go to that list and let's create a new tab. And you wanted something that show me
what my customers owe me.
Show me let me try that. What my customers that. And that's interesting here because now we haven't specified which columns to do anything with, no filtering or anything. We just, in a natural language sentence, told Copilot what we wanted. And now it comes back with an analysis with the customer name, the amount, and the remaining amount.
It's fantastic. It's almost what I want, but it seems like this is for each invoice, or maybe can we just group it by customer, or?
Yeah, or maybe we could at least take away the amount column because you actually you only wanted the remaining amount. So let's say remove amount column. But what if we add some information on when these money
I actually want to know when the payments are due.
Yeah,
so maybe due month and year, or
yeah, for instance, and then let's tell it to show the due year perhaps, and maybe the month as well.
Yeah. Nice.
So
it's almost what I want.
Almost.
Except it would be nice to. I'm a pivot kind of guy. I want actually these as columns instead of like real pivot columns.
Okay,
Could we do that?
Let's ask whether we could get it as a pivot, and maybe we should then move the dates to the top so we can actually group by them.
That would be nice.
So let's see what happens now. This seems close what you wanted. You got a pivot, you got your data at the top, but
got a lot of measures here. Can we clean that up as well?
Maybe there's a bit too many.
Yeah.
You didn't want all of them. Okay. So Copilot was a bit creative and thought you actually wanted all of them. So of course we can ask Copilot to take them away again. There's also another option. We can, maybe it's, in this case, it's easier just to do it manually. So we can here just go and remove the one we actually do not want. So you actually wanted the remaining amount.
Yeah.
So let's keep that. And we now have that, and maybe we should also size it a bit so you can actually.
That's nice
to see. So now you're pretty close to what you asked for.
That's not even close, Thomas. This is exactly what I wanted. And you know what? I kind of like the idea that Copilot helped me get started with my analysis, but in the end, I was in control. I kind of finished it up, did my things, and kind of made that human element and improved the analysis.
That's
fantastic.
And I love how just a few words is all it took, really, to draft all of this content on screen. Now, it's important to understand how this works as well. The data needed to answer these kind of questions happen to be on this list. So I want you to understand that Copilot at this stage in preview will only work with fields that are shown on the page, on the list page itself. And if you ask for other fields that are not there or on the table, Copilot will not be able to bring them into that analysis tab. Similarly, Copilot will not stretch across different tables to join them together, to bring data together that way. So it's important to know this. Now, Copilot here and the ability to analyze that list is available on virtually all list pages, and I believe worksheets as well in Business Central, including your custom lists. So if you've created a custom list page with your own, information in there, such as the list of vehicles, for example, as part of customizations on your environment, or as something that comes with an add-on solution as well. This just works at no additional effort from your part. In fact, as long as the user has permission to analyze, or the page allows analysis, you'll now find Copilot on that page. A few more tips here to understand how to use this and where to use this. So first of all, Copilot in Business Central is available exclusively for Business Central Online. So that's where you'll find this new capability. This has been released with 2024 Release Wave 1, so you'll need to upgrade to version 24.0 or later. It's also being rolled out for all environment localizations, with the exception of Canada for regulatory reasons. It's also available in preview in English language only, so you'll need to make sure that my settings indicate that your user is running with one of these languages on screen. And finally, one of the very common questions that we get: how much does this cost? Well, at this stage, Copilot is available with your Business Central license at no additional cost. Now, we designed this feature really from the ground up on Microsoft's values and responsible AI standards. And in fact, the Microsoft Cloud runs on trust. This is something we've always said from the very beginning of the cloud. And really, our approach to AI here is no different. So our promise to our customers is that their data is their data. We do not use that data to train the AI models to the benefit of others in this case. And as Thomas mentioned earlier, we're not sending all of that data over to Azure OpenAI. Now, you're also protected at every step with the security, privacy, and compliance controls that you expect, and admins are in control in this case as well. Every Copilot feature at Microsoft, including this one, is built very thoughtfully to make sure our customers are safe and their data remains safe. So, for example, when you put Copilot to work here, it only has access to the lists, the fields, and the data that you as a user have access to. And really the only thing that's generated is that layout of information. No new data is generated in this case. All of those things help ensure that it's as accurate as possible in terms of what is generated in that analysis tab. And finally, AI is sometimes incorrect, and that's why we always give our users the opportunity to review what Copilot has generated before committing it and fully saving it into Business Central. So you're probably wondering, if you're a partner, how do I try this out? How do I get hands-on? And how do I demo it to my customers? Well, that's super simple. For demos, we always recommend CDX, Customer Digital Experiences. So if you just go to aka.ms/CDX, you can sign in with your partner identity. And then with just a few clicks, you can get your own tenant, your own environment of Business Central if you sign up for a Business Central free trial in that tenant. Once you're there, you are ready to experience Analysis Assist with Copilot. If you don't see it in that environment, there's a few things you can watch out for. So first of all, check the Copilot and AI capabilities page. We've created this single, simple space for admins to go in and be able to find exactly which Copilot capabilities are in my environment. So we give that transparency, but also control. So you may need to check, is this particular feature, is it active or has it been deactivated in there? That might be why you don't see it in the environment. The other thing to watch out for here is that because Azure OpenAI Service is only available in certain regions, but not all, some of our customers on some environments will need to opt in to having data move outside of the geographic boundary, which is the switch you see on the screen right here. And when you do that, not just this feature, but all the Copilot capabilities should light up in that environment. If you still don't see Analysis Assist in your environment, a few more things you can check. Make sure your language is set to English in My Settings. Make sure you've upgraded to version 24 or later, of course. And check the permission set. So there's a permission set which governs whether, as a user, you can or cannot generally analyze lists in Business Central as well. When you do get in there and have the opportunity to try it out, please, 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 send us your feedback. Help us improve this experience and help us improve Copilot. So you can use the like and dislike buttons in the actual dialogue itself. That feedback is really important to us. It helps us continue evolving and improving Copilot in general. So we really appreciate if you take the time to give us that feedback. Okay, so there's so much more Copilot in this wave. And in fact, there's a whole bunch of sessions we recommend that you go take a look at. Copilot is helping our users get more efficient with entering sales lines in their sales documents. You can chat with Copilot to find data in Business Central, but also learn new skills and ask about how to do things or explain concepts. And we're also helping with electronic invoice matching as well. On top of that, Kenny, I believe we have also some really interesting sessions on analytics as well.
True. So in the 2024 release wave 1, we have new Excel reports for finance and sales. So there's a session for that. And you know what? We even added a little bit of Excel Copilot in there. So if you want to have a taste of that, go check it out. Now, to build these multi-language Excel reports, we also added new capabilities in the Excel layouts feature. So there's a partner or a developer part of that story as well in a session called Excel Layouts for Developers. So go check that out as well.
Fantastic. And great to hear there's more Microsoft Copilot showing up in more of our videos there. But if you want to learn more about Copilot, here's a couple of resources that you can follow. The Partner Pitch Deck has some fantastic slides you can use with your customers, and that's been updated to include AI as well. So definitely go check it out. And of course, check out our documentation for more tips and examples and information about how Analysis Assist works in Business Central. For those of you who are completely new to Business Central, there's plenty of resources to help you get engaged. You can follow us on social media. You can engage directly with the product team as well, and share your feedback and valuable ideas. So I think we can wrap that up. Congratulations, you've reached the end of this video. We hope you found this informative. I'm really eager to hear your feedback and what you do with these new capabilities for Copilot in Business Central. So on behalf of the team that worked on this, thank you, and thanks for watching.